Okay, everybody, welcome to this video. From time to time, we get a number of requests around different topics, different security systems and solutions out there. And one of the ones that comes up a fair bit has been virtual private networks, or VPNs. And so this session is all about VPNs, how they work, and why you might potentially want to consider using one. So what on earth is a VPN, or virtual private network? It's very much like an invisible tunnel between your device and the internet, giving you secure, private access to another location. For example, it might be your office or business location, or another network, which should be free from snooping, interference, and censorship. So I've got a very quick diagram to try and explain this a little bit more. There's a lot involved, and I'm hoping I can kind of keep it simple for you. So here I am on my home network with a Windows device, and I'm going out my Optus modem out to the internet. And that's what happens normally. Very simple. There's some protections and things built into this modem here. But when I go out the internet, out this device, this is what it looks like. This is what my unique IP address is on the internet when I am talking online. So whatever site I talk to, whether it's Google or whether it's Netflix or something else, they will know that James has visited from private network on this day, on this date and time from this IP address. And then if they wanted to, they could go back to Optus and say, hey, Optus, give us some more information about this IP address, please, because we've noted they were going to this website, or they were downloading things that they shouldn't have been, etc., etc. So from that perspective, all of the traffic and everything I visit on the internet at any point is logged by my internet service provider, and my IP address is what gives them that unique identifier. So that's the normal network, or the normal internet. Importantly, just to cover some of the keys, as in the colors that we're using here. The private home network is green, and everything that happens on this network stays in this little green boundary, and we have the same IP address range. I won't go into the details of all of what these are, but ultimately we have a specific range for a private network, and you'll find that they usually start with something like 192.168 or 10.0. or 1.72. something. So just keep that in mind, that that's what a private home network will look like. And then when we're on the internet, we've got a very different IP address, which is a public internet address, or a public IP address. Moving on. Here's what happens when we have a VPN. I'm on my private home network here, connecting from a Windows device or a mobile device, but I have configured what is a VPN tunnel that goes out over the internet, back through another modem, and creates a tunnel endpoint in another network, which effectively bridges these two networks so that they can be the same. So from this Windows device, I might want to print straight across to this printer here in the office, and I can facilitate that by having this VPN configured, by having this VPN configured, and by being able to talk that way across this VPN to another network. They will still have a private network IP address range, but the same process would apply though if I wanted to go out to the internet with any of these devices. Typically, the local modem, the local internet gateway, or the default route is what it's also known as, that will be the device that's used for me to go out to the internet to get to things like Google and YouTube and so on. And it is this IP address that it will look that I am visiting from. So again, all of the traffic that happens on this network is loggable, is traceable via this IP address out to the internet and to any site that I visit. However, this here facilitates the ability to connect from the private home network across to another. Let's say it's the office network, where I can access my PC there in the office, I can access file servers, and I can access other shared services like printers as well. So that's a VPN. There's another service that's called a split tunnel VPN, and we basically described that already in this last scenario here. ultimately what that means is, very simply, these devices can talk across the VPN to talk to the office stuff, the office shared services. But when they want to go out to the internet, they know to go out the internet gateway here and go straight out to the internet. They don't go across the VPN tunnel to then go out to the internet. So what we've just described here is a split tunnel. When we then have what's known as a full tunnel VPN, this is where all of the traffic in this private home network is sent across the VPN, and then it goes out the office network through to other services, whether it's Google or YouTube or Netflix. But what that means is, once this VPN is set up with the full tunnel VPN, any of these devices that are running across this network, they look as if they are coming from the office internet IP address. So it's a way of forwarding or proxying all of this internet traffic through the office, perhaps because the office has a firewall or an internet security device that they want to send you through first. But it's also a way of just consolidating all of the traffic so that you don't have another entry or exit point to the internet, which could potentially be unprotected. So that way you can ensure that with a full tunnel VPN, everything is controlled across this tunnel, across between the two sites, and only when any device here wants to go out the internet will it go across the VPN and out this modem to Google or Netflix or whatever. So there's quite a lot involved in this, but we'll get to a little bit more about why we're explaining this anyway. But ultimately, though, it's a way of saying to Google or to Netflix or any other service online, I'm actually coming from this address over here, when in actual fact, I'm across a VPN and I'm actually sitting here on a different network, on a different Optus or ISP connection. So what about VPN as a service, where we actually buy subscription to a VPN as a service? And typically these operate as a full tunnel VPN. And what happens is that it's usually device based. So you install the software on a device like a PlayStation or the LG TV or Windows or iPhone or whatever. And that software sends all of the traffic through its VPN software, and it goes across to the VPN service provider. But the VPN service provider has services or endpoints that are available in different countries and in multiple different locations, some of them as many as 90 countries. What that means, though, is that you can configure where your traffic exits from. So you're browsing something on your phone here. Let's say it's Netflix. You turn on the VPN and you tell the VPN that you want it to come all the way across this green one to the UK. So what happens is Netflix goes, oh, that's strange. James is on his iPhone, but he's coming from the UK. Well, I better show him all of the UK based TV shows, all of the UK based streaming shows that we have licenses for, and so on and so forth. So it's a way, in some instances, of getting around the geo restrictions or the geographic restrictions as far as TV streaming and licensing is concerned. But it may be just simply used as for someone who travels a lot and they travel to uh, some countries who have less internet freedoms than others, and therefore you're always using a VPN service provider, so you are encrypting and masking the traffic that you use wherever you are in the world.